Hi, Robin with Oxy-Dry, and I thought I would just give an update on my little project here, getting the U.S. Products Ultimate PB3 back in operating condition. There's a couple of things I needed to do with it. One of the things I did is I did replace the carbon brushes in the motor. They were down to almost worn out, but not quite, so I had to it was easy enough to, well, relatively easy to pull out the carbons. The motor cap comes off easily, and I replaced them, although the replacement carbons, I actually had to solder the wire onto them because the connection on the new style carbons was slightly different than the original, so but soldering them on is ultimately a better way to go anyway. And I was having an issue with the pump. It was running fine, but had a little leak. And as you can see, the pump sitting right there. Actually, I'll get down a little bit lower so you can see a bit better. There we go. And what I discovered is I thought that there was a bit of mineral deposit going on right here. You could see that it leaked. A little bit of water right in here had been happening. It was dried on and sort of like powder, and I assumed that it was the leak was coming right in here where the impeller chamber sits on top of the end, this base here. But now I actually think, after pulling it apart and I cleaned it out and put it back together, and I was running it, I thought I had it fixed, and then I realized that every once in a while I'm still getting a little drip. I had a piece of paper towel sitting down here, and I was running it for a while, and I got a drip once in a while, and I concluded that I think what's happening is the motor shaft goes right through here. You can see it's open here. There's a motor shaft in there, and I think that once in a while there's a little drip that's coming out of the I guess there's a seal in the behind the impeller here, and I think once in a while I get a drip. It's just once in a while. It's almost like a little teardrop every few minutes. So it's not a critical issue, and I expect that I wouldn't be surprised if the only way to actually fix it is to replace the pump, and I'm not really wanting to do that because the pump is $1,000 US. So it would cost me a lot more to get it here in Canada, and I'm not really sure how much I will use this machine, really. But an occasional little drop is no big deal. I can just put a pad or whatever underneath the machine when I'm running it, and if I get a few drops there while I'm running it for an hour or whatever, that's not a big deal, I don't think. But anyway, I just wanted to kind of go over the way this machine is set up. And before I forget, I wanted to grab the little kit that it comes with here. I did show this before, but I'm going to go over it again. So put that there for the moment. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you how they've set this machine up to get it going, because you need to prime the pump, which I guess you do with a lot of extractors. But it comes with this this little kit, I guess, with this little device, and you stick that on there and that on there. Turn on your vacuum motor. Okay, so I can turn on the pump first of all. See, nothing coming out the pump. At least there shouldn't be. Oh, there it is. Starting to come. Okay, but you can prime it like that. Actually, I was running it a little while ago, and I thought I sucked out the water. But anyway, if it was completely empty, that's what you would do. You would hook up this little adapter and then stick it in there and turn on your vacuum and your pump, and it would pump it through, and you'd be all primed and ready to go. So that's part of the process. Get that out of the way. And now that I got it primed, I'm going to turn on the heater. But I'm going to turn on the pump. So they say that the heater will come up to full temperature in 2 minutes, and you'll hear the pump accelerate. You hear it accelerate there. So I turned off the heater. It slows down a little bit. It's drawing the amps. The heater is, that is. So it takes about 2 minutes to get full temperature. But in the meantime, I'm going to just connect up the hoses here. This is the stock way this machine would come with this upholstery tool. And of course the vacuum line would go there. And the pressure line would go there. And this is the tool that came originally with this machine. Now this is a very interesting tool. I did show it before, but I couldn't really do much with it initially because the valve inside here was jammed in the open position, and the jet was kind of clogged up. It was spraying very erratically. So I had to pull this apart. It was very easy to get in there. Just two screws, and then this the actual valve it basically pops out of there, and there's a nut on the back side, and you back it off. And the way they've set it up is there's a pin that pushes down against a ball bearing, which this lever, when you push the lever, it presses the ball bearing away from a seat, which is just a flat or concave, I guess. I don't know how to describe that. It fits into the housing of the actual valve body, I guess. And on the back side of that, there's a spring, and on the back side of that, there's a nut you would take off so you can open that up if you needed to, if it was needing the ball bearing replaced, or in this case it was had some corrosion in there, mineral deposit actually. So I pulled that apart and cleaned it up, put it back together. That was working perfect, but then well, there you see it's not up to full temperature because the pump just accelerated. It'll fluctuate again. Anyway, the tool, which I'm going to show you a little more detail now, is interchangeable, and it's got this that's kind of an old style jet that we used to see in a lot of upholstery tools, and the stream comes out, hits the front of that of the jet here, and then it sprays it out in a fan. It sprays very nice now. It was, I guess, had some build up there, and it was spraying very erratically. So this see if I can get on there. Nope, we're going wrong way. There. So you can see that the tool slides in place, like that. But I have other options for tools. So this is the kit that came with, and I remember buying one of these like 35 years ago, one of these setups, and when they first came out. So I guess that's how long this machine has been around for. This particular tool is actually for doing drapes, because then you don't suck all the fabric thin shears or whatever into the tool. This one, I think they say this is like if you're doing, more wider or more open areas, you would maybe put this one on instead of this one, which I think would actually make a better option anyway in a lot of ways. Because one of the things I found, here's the put this one on here. Let's see, how does it go? Yeah, there we go. When I used this tool, I used this one on my van, and I found that it actually left the fabric surprisingly wetter than I expected. But maybe as I look at it now, I realize that well, there's an awful lot of area here that is going to be, which would be from here forward, would be all the where the vacuum is. And that's a lot of area compared to this one, where this is much more concentrated. The vacuum is much more concentrated here, so you'd get a better extraction. This would be your primary tool, I would guess. But the one of the things I found a bit annoying about it is that the spray being way back here, if you go up to you're cleaning a piece of fabric or a couch, and if you're going to go up to something like what I was doing right now, if you're going up to there, and you pull the trigger, well, the spray would actually end up only getting way back here. So the only way you could get over here is you'd have to spray with it up in the air like that, and then go down and pull it away, which I guess you could get used to. But that's just something to bear in mind with this particular type of tool. Now this tool is meant for this machine, I guess. Like, you could use it on other machines, but this is a 50 psi pump in that machine, and it does work fine. Sprays really well. It's a really fine spray, but you can, if you held that on the fabric for, you know, a couple of seconds, it can get it really wet. There's a lot coming out still. But I'm going to show you. Oh, actually, I'll show you this next. So what I did is I was hoping that maybe one of these would work better. I had some issues getting it to work right, because this one I ordered in, but I think the jet in the one I ordered was a bit larger than the jet that I have in there now. I actually had an older one which had, I think, a smaller size tip on there. I don't know if you can see that. And I think this one works much better. I'm getting a perfect fan out of here now, and I actually used it to do my seat on my van again, because it's only fabric I have around, and it definitely worked better, I think, than this tool. But having the option of tools, well, it's kind of nice to have all these different attachments, maybe. Or then again, maybe I'll just keep on using this, I don't know. But this, of course, is the P&F dripless. But anyway, I'm going to show you just how hot this thing gets, at least give you an idea, because you can't feel it, but it gets hot enough to really hurt, I guess you could say. So the pump's running, and it's recirculating. You see that? But the water is stone cold. So the way that this machine works is that the pump is constantly running and constantly recirculating, and then when you turn on the heater, and where you pull the trigger on here, the water then exits the there's the intake on the pump, there's the bypass, and then there's another tube that sends it down the tube, and you're cleaning with it. But only then does it go through the heater. So I'll just turn on the valve here, and we'll just see if we can see some steam. Once the cold water comes through the line, we should be able to see some steam. So let's see what happens. See the spray? It's starting to warm up now. Oh yeah, you can see the steam coming up, eh? Oh yeah, very warm indeed. Getting hotter, getting hot to the point where I'm going to have to pull my finger away. So it's definitely putting out a lot of, you can see the fan on the other side as well. I think you can see that. So it's spraying really well, it's heating really well, it's got plenty of suck. Like I'm pulling the trigger down, I can feel, I pull the trigger, it's like, okay, that's too hot. So, I will probably try this tool out though. It's very maneuverable and it's very light. I've got a job where I've got 2 armchairs to do this week, so hopefully I'll be able to. I was thinking I would take this machine and give it a try then. I just have to put that protective cover around the bottom where the pump is there. Oh, check this out. Look at that, eh? Isn't that cool? See that it lights up, the light comes on, and it tells you there's water only and there's no solvent in there. Isn't that cool? So the heat, and there is a control for the heat. There it is right there. I can turn it completely off, or right there, that's 125, which is where you'd have it set for doing solvent, and otherwise you crank it right up to 200 degrees. So it's kind of handy to have that ability to do that. and a nice compact machine. And you know, hopefully I'll give it a shot this week, and then maybe I'll be able to get back to you guys and let you know how I thought that it works. It certainly is it's an interesting machine. I really am quite intrigued by it. So anyway, hopefully that'll it'll work well, and I'll have a good report for you maybe in a few days. So take care. Bye now.